3 months ago, we set you a challenge to find a museum object anywhere in the country and find out all about it.
And we had loads of entries. We had a comic strip, a WhatsApp conversation, an animation, and even a Minecraft world.
Your beautiful entries really showed us how questioning an object can really unlock the history. So a huge thank you to everyone. But there could only be one winner, and who was it, Lizzie?
It was Cooper's Edge School. They picked a Typhoon plane from the Second World War.
Their winning entry was a film about how the Typhoon plane influenced people's lives in a time of conflict. The judges were impressed by how the students used different methods to investigate the plane's cockpit and how they presented their findings. The students' entry even explored life in the Typhoon factory where the plane was built. We wanted to learn more about how they used historical enquiry techniques to uncover the past through a single object.
Now you all know that they won the competition, but what you don't know is all the things that were done to make that possible.
We sat down, discussed what we already knew about the Typhoon, and then after that we had Phyllis and Peggy come in.
We loved how they interviewed Peggy and Phyllis, two women who worked in the Typhoon factory during the Second World War, helping to build planes.
I think they learned quite a lot from talking to us about the history of the Typhoon. Well, they wanted to know what we did, the hours we kept.
Makes me sit up and think back a little bit.
They were very intrigued to meet Peggy and Phyllis. It's nice to have them talking as a resource. It's not, here are some people talking, make notes on it, because it wasn't an interactive question and answer session.
Hey Phyllis, is that you in the picture?
Yes, it is.
So that's the part you worked on in the plane?
That's right, I was fixing the ailerons.
That's Peggy. That's Peggy.
London Radar, beeline Golf, Papa Romeo, Papa Victor, requesting your latest weather, over. Out.
Cooper's Edge reenacted Phyllis and Peggy's accounts of life in the factory.
It wasn't so cold. I hope they like their razors again. Yeah, I hope they do. It's freezing in here. Well, let's get busy. So boss is not mad. We have to do 12 planes.
When we reenacted outside, we saw that it was really cold, just like in the factory.
When Peggy and Phyllis told them that it was really cold and they couldn't do the bolts up, that obviously stuck in their mind, but it wasn't until we actually got to the object and they looked at those tiny rivets and they went, yeah, you would need very nimble fingers to do that. And that was one way the object helped, but the other way the object helped was just in itself, it raised questions.
I've learnt what was on this site and whereabouts our school is. That was in Second World War. That this used to be an aircraft factory.
Cooper's Edge engaged with local history. They were inspired by the fact that Typhoon aircraft were built on their site. And they involved the Jet Age Museum, based a few miles north of their school.
Good morning, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to Jet Age Museum.
After hearing about their success, the school arranged to meet some of the staff at the museum again. They revisited the Typhoon cockpit, which was moved from the workshop to the museum's main display. This was an excellent opportunity to continue their learning pathway.
Now look at the difference in size, guys. That's what's fired by a Spitfire and a Hurricane. That is what's fired by a Typhoon. And that piece on the end is explosive. When it hits anything, it goes bang and makes a huge hole. They know they're part of a major event. They're making history themselves. The youngsters are making their own history.
They were able to look at the past as well as the future, and I think that sort of hung it together, and I think that's probably my lasting memory of it.
And the interaction, you saw them with the exhibits, kids love to touch stuff, get stuff.
One of the children had gone back and said, Mr. Johnson, I will be trying much harder at mathematics now because I want to build aeroplanes.
What was that glass for?
That was the top, because they had to lift it up like that so they could open the door and the pilot could get out of the cockpit.
As part of the school's prize, the winners were invited to the British Museum for a behind-the-scenes tour. I met them at the front of the museum, so we could explore the collection together.
Hello. Welcome to the British Museum. Do you want to come over this way and then you can see it?
This place is phenomenal.
Got to see lots of different things from quite a while ago. There were like bracelets and one that this other girl made, which was like something when they went to war they had to put around their neck.
Please can we get 3 volunteers?
We've been through a bookshelf that opens a secret door.
It's been very interesting going through a bookshelf.
Every library I'm going to be searching for another one of those doors.
We met Hugo Chapman in the Prints and Drawings study room. He showed us some prints that told us more about what it was like for some other women in the Second World War, when the Typhoons were operational.
So these are all prints made of women and the war effort. So here is a woman called Pauline Gower who has headed a group of women pilots. On the right, women making a Beaufort bomber in the factory.
And how are they similar? Of what Peggy and Phyllis did?
Phyllis said that they all had to work in a group, but they had different jobs.
The next stage for us is to use a lot of the material we've gathered and to start kind of changing how we teach history in the schools. The importance of objects has been really rammed home. I'm now running off to get boxes of stuff from museums. At the end of the day, when you've got 10 minutes, why not get out a fire plug or something weird from a mystery box and just get people to talk about what it is?
History is important because if you don't know about your past, then you won't really know what will happen in future if you don't know about the past.
Now we're going to have some cake.
Lizzie, that was a heck of a day. They were unbelievably enthusiastic. They loved the museum.
Yeah, it was really exciting welcoming them all here. After going to Gloucester and then having them here at the museum, it's been a wonderful day.
And it feels like, from what they were saying, that they are just on the first steps of a lifelong journey of loving the past, loving history, loving heritage. So
yeah, I think we've got some future historians on our hands.
they'll be after our jobs.